Situated between Bridgnorth and the dramatic landscape of Wenlock Edge is the delightful town of Much Wenlock. It's a town that has changed so little over time that local author Ellis Peters once said, "You almost expect people to go into a shop and buy a copy of the Anglo-Saxon Times." In fact, people come from far and wide to browse in Wenlock's many shops. We don't know for sure when the first people settled in Much Wenlock, but it was probably sometime in the 7th century AD when a monastery was founded here. The ruins that you see today are those of a later Norman monastery. The surviving carvings show how magnificent it must once have been. The priory has a long and colourful history which began in the 7th century. St Milburga arrived at the abbey that once stood here as a nun, later becoming abbess. She would bring Wenlock fame and fortune through the miracles she performed. Legend has it she was able to turn a river into an impassable flood to keep a would-be suitor at bay. She was also said to levitate and even had the power to bring a child back from the dead.
On your mark! Get set!
It may surprise you to learn that Much Wenlock is home of the modern Olympic Games. No, seriously. It all started in October 1890 when an 81-year-old English doctor met a 27-year-old French baron for dinner at the Raven Hotel. What the two men would discuss over lunch would change the face of international sport forever. The doctor in question was William Penny Brooks, the town's local GP. He had a passion for the well-being of his patients. Baron Pierre de Coubertin was a wealthy French aristocrat and organiser of the International Congress of Physical Education. Between them, they created the modern Olympic movement, which is charted throughout the town by the Olympian Trail. The waymarked trail leads you around various locations connected to Much Wenlock's Olympic history. The trail begins and ends at the town museum. The museum building is also home to the town's Visitor Information Centre. This is an excellent place to pick up walking maps and other information that may prove useful during your visit. Penny Brooks was born in this house in 1809. He took an interest in all aspects of town life. Where this building now stands was originally a piece of waste ground, and it was Dr. Brooks who got the local farmers and townspeople together so they could build the corn exchange. In the space above there is a reading room where meetings for art, archaeology and the annual Olympian class to arrange the Wenlock Games for the town's young men was held. This black and white building is the Tangs Guildhall. According to local legend, it was constructed in just 2 days. As well as being a doctor, Penny Brooks was also the town's magistrate, where he would sentence the local criminals to a spell in the stocks. As well as being the town's courthouse, the Guildhall also houses the council chamber, which is lined with magnificent oak panels, which Brooks paid for. The town council still uses it as their council chamber. This is the last remaining gas lamp that Penny Brooks installed through the Wenlock Gas Company. He was co-founder. Brooks also built the town's railway station. The railway carried competitors to the 1861 Games, although nowadays it is used for housing. Its position was perfect, right next to Linden Field, where the Games are still held to this day. The first Wenlock Olympian Games were held in 1850, and in some ways the Games haven't changed at all. After Coubertin attended Wenlock's 1890 Games, he took up Brooks's plan for international games all over Europe. By 1896, the first modern games were held in Athens. Unfortunately, the good doctor died 4 months before the international games. He never knew his dream had been achieved. His grave lies in the churchyard of Holy Trinity Church, in sight of the house where he was born. The church is often open for visitors, and inside there's a memorial to Dr. Brooks. Back at the town's museum, you can discover the full history of the Wenlock Olympic Games, including viewing many original artefacts. The legacy of William Penny Brooks continues to this day.